Hello YouTube, this is Asatsu5 and this is an unboxing for Bibliophiles, or Bibliophiles, however you want to pronounce it. I think it's actually pronounced Bibliophile. And for those of you who don't know what a bibliophile is, that is a book friend or a book lover. So, someone who's a friend of books or someone who loves books. And it's a little slightly different than a bookworm. A bookworm is more concerned with the contents of the book. A bibliophile or a book friend is someone who just loves everything about books. The look, the smell, the history of the book, or the concept of books in general. So this is an unboxing for that, and I thought I'd use that word to kind of hook you in. But you might find this interesting, and just to kind of keep things interesting, this is my Grail knife. This is actually a Grail knife. It's not my Grail Bowie, but this is my Grail kind of EDC knife, slip joint. This is the not Fatini Patu. This is yeah, it is Fatini Patu. It's Fatini Patu Capachedo. This is a handmade, hand-fitted pocket knife, and I themed it after Hunchback of Notre Dame. The clover has an emerald in it, and I don't know how well you can see that emerald, and I'm going to be upset if that emerald fell out. I'm just now discovering it. Wow, that sucks. Because that was a big part of me choosing this knife, or configuring this knife, is that I chose an emerald for Esmeralda for the Hunchback of Notre Dame. And the horn is a ram's horn. They didn't have goat horn because that's not as premium, but that was a reference to Jolly, Esmeralda's goat. And I can't believe that emerald fell out. No, I wonder, I'm just going to check because that's the first time I noticed it. I'm just going to check if it's in my pocket. I carried this today. And it's not. Man, I'm going to have to replace that emerald. That's not going to be the cheapest thing to do because emeralds are pretty expensive, but let's go ahead and do the unboxing. Now, with every good Amazon brown envelope, you have a pull here to open. I refuse. So, my not-so-Esmeralda Hunchback of Notre Dame knife. And this is still a beautiful knife, but that is disappointing. That's the second time that's happened to me when I bought a knife that had a jewel in it. I had a William Henry Jurassic, and it had diamonds in it, and the diamonds fell out. And luckily, the jeweler that I got it from honored a warranty that wasn't established. He asked me, "Hey, when did you buy this?" I was like, "I don't know." He's like, "Well, our warranty only lasts for like a year and whatever." And he's like, "I'm just going to go ahead and warranty it." So I actually got it a free diamond. So some of this is going to be more interesting to you than others. That's the main kit. And this is some Japanese shears, or thread cutting shears. And I'm going to go into a little bit more detail why I chose to replace these scissors. But basically, this is a kit that comes with everything but the chipboard and paper to bind a book. And hang on a second, I might edit this out. Some of you know that I took a adult class on bookbinding, and this is my terrible example of a book that I bound. You can see it's kind of bubbling up a little bit, and I themed it after The Hobbit. So you got your kind of your cover page, and you got the map. This is the map of the United States. That's very Tolkienian, and I've tried my hand at book repair. I repaired a broken hinge, which is basically that. The hinge was broken, and I repaired it successfully. Not so successful at binding a book. It looks interesting. It looks very rustic. By the way, the other reference to the Lord of the Rings is the red cover. It's supposed to be red leather, but it's paper. But yeah, so I bound this book, and it was a feeling of a lot of contradictions. I was frustrated, but proud, disappointed, but felt fulfilled. This is a book with no answers, but it's just one of those things like, wow, I created a book, even though it has no script in it. And, there was a certain amount of pride to that. I was just disappointed how rustic it looked. So I really wanted to redeem myself. I wanted to make a good book that someone would pay money for. And ultimately, I would like to bind my own or rebind a Lord of the Rings or Hobbit book. Get like a cheap hardcover or something and make it my own cover. And so that's kind of the goal. But this is my first bound book. And as you can see, it's sewn very poorly. I also want to improve my book sewing capabilities because I did a terrible job. And that's why this has a lot of thread in it. And that's why I bought thread cutter scissors. So you got some scissors. I don't know if these are good. They look to be Chinese or Korean. Got an awl, which is very important. You got waxed thread of different colors. And this whole kit, other than the thread cutting scissors or shears, cost me about $20. And you got various threads, a utility knife, which is mostly used to, it seems like it's mostly used to make your paper flush. And, it's used for cutting paper in general, but how my paper is uneven, it's kind of wavy. That's going to help with that, along with a straight edge. I really need a machinist straight edge, but this will work. But got that. A glue brush, and then I'll save that for last. We got, I think this is a burnisher, and we got a bone folding tool, and a bone folding tool from Fiskars, from Michael's the store, cost $7, and you can find these online for about $5, and you can get them made out of Teflon or different plastics or bamboo. I wanted an authentic bone one because that's what's traditional, and this one advertised to be authentic bone. Now I really don't know how to test that without actually damaging it. Let's see if I can get it to focus. There we go. And what you use this for is to fold and keep your folds neat, to have a crease, to score. Basically, this is your paper manipulating device. It's almost, you use it for origami, you use it for bookbinding and paper crafts, and you also use it for leather work. So I don't know if I'll ever get into leather work, but I wanted to get an authentic cattle bone folder. And I think this is something that's kind of a similar tool. Let's see what it says in the paperwork. And then I'll get into what you probably find interesting, which is the... oh, is that a pencil? Yeah, that's a pencil. Go figure. It's not going to zoom. It's not going to focus. But it's a pencil with no eraser, because I don't make mistakes. But anyways... it also comes, or should come, with a thimble and some threading tools. This is, I guess, the company that I got it from. I just went on Amazon and got it. And, I really grown to love physical books, although I don't use them very often. I know that sounds weird. I mostly consume books audiobooks. But I like having physical books if I want to... reference a specific thing, and especially in Tolkien's books, you have the appendices, you have maps, and all sorts of extra stuff. If you're reading something that's non-fiction, you can go back and reference specific things. So, got some needles, but I think I'm supposed to have some curved needles. Yeah, they're in there. I think, curved needles. But anyways, audiobooks are awesome, and that's the main way I consume books because I'm extremely dyslexic and ADD, so I'm very easily distracted, but I do occasionally read physical books. Now, about the shears or thread cutters. Murray Carter, the 17th generation Yoshimoto bladesmith and ABS master bladesmith, he did a tour of a Japanese scissor company, and I can't remember the name of the company, or I would have looked them up, but this is Amazon. And basically they specialize in making scissors, and they've been making scissors for a very long time. And like scissors is all they do. They make wallet scissors that are supposed to bring you good luck. They make actual thread cutting and bonsai scissors. They make scissors for cutting fabric. And basically, let's see, how can I demonstrate this? Basically, they'll get like silk, and to test the scissors, they'll cut them with the very tips, and it's not going to focus. Anyways, and then they'll cut it, and it'll cut with the very tips of the scissors. Usually your cutting action's way down here, and that's where the scissors like to work. But the high-end expensive scissors, and he used to carry them on his website, they will cut at the tips. And so I just always wanted some Japanese scissors, and these shear designs are not unique to Japan, I don't think. But I was like, hey, you know what, I'm going to be cutting thread, theoretically, and it actually got off track. And I want some Japanese thread cutting shears, so that's what I got. And maybe I'll do a review on these, if my camera can pick it up. But you saw that, they got kind of off track. You can put them back in. They're cool. I think they're cool. So that's it. That's the video. I know you're just dying to know what kind of thing I'm jumping into off a whim. You know, I'm prone to starting hobbies and having different interests, and then like just completely forgetting about them a few days later. But I've been consistent with beekeeping, Spanish, knives, guns, and I'm hoping that I can actually get good at binding books. So that's it. I'm a Saucy 5, and I'm out.